another Generation 2 Plasticon review! Woo! Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover some more Generation 2. When I'm talking G2, I am talking Generation 2 Trypticon, also known as Decepticon City. This entire fortress is absolutely amazing. It has so much detail and so many things picked out throughout it that it's just littered with awesome. What's really radical about this is the fact that you can add Motormaster along with Onslaught and the Combaticons to really flesh this entire place set out. This thing is more or less a playset in this design. It's got so many different things you can do with it, and really it's kind of left up to your imagination on how you want to set up the towers and such, because everything is movable on this thing, which is very cool, considering, you know, it's supposed to be Metroplex's adversary. Well, this is a good one. This is perfect. And you know what makes this thing even more perfect is taking a look at the base robot setup itself without any of this add-on stuff. Let's take a look at his little Micromaster he comes with, and this is Heavy Tread. It's a little tank. It's very cool. It's got a little up and down cannon here that moves, and this can actually move in 360 degrees. Although it's a little stiff on mine, but it does move. That's pretty nice. He's a very successful little tank. I think it's kind of neat. Got a lot of detail built in there. This is really nice. And he's not a bad little tank. He does have a very simple transformation though, to move the tank turret backward. That gives enough clearance. Legs down, chest down, and the arms. There you go. We have Heavy Tread and his robot mode. You also got the little drone I was telling you about, and you just flip this here away, and take this piece here off, and then you can just put this on here, and then yes, it's just like Slammer, literally just like him. Oh, it's so tight there, but there you go. A little golden version of Slammer. Man, you know, it's just a little Viacon, so what do you expect? And here's Generation 2 Trypticon in just his straight base mode without any add-ons whatsoever. He does have a lot of playability, and there are a lot of things going on with this entire setup because it's just absolutely amazing. The great thing about him is this is just one configuration that you can do with some of the added on parts that I have added to this. This thing looks absolutely amazing, and I love it because, you know, Trypticon has always been awesome, and I like him. I always have. Anyway, let's take a quick look at some of the little details and such that he has, so that way we can, you know, really get an eye for what is going on here. Now, Trypticon has a lot of different parts to him, and that's what's really cool about him. I do have a bit of an add-on that I put on here, which I took. Everybody knows this Brunt figure from the newer toy line, but these pieces here actually do plug into the bits on the back. And the cool thing is if I take these off, you can still take the guns even without him being added on like this. And this stuff here is kind of more or less up to your interpretation, however you want to do it, but he does happen to have ways to add a bunch of stuff on if that's what you want to do with him. And then you can kind of put this gun here pretty much anywhere you really want. This gun here is pretty much just part of this. And I primarily just kind of mess around and just stick things kind of where I think they will actually fit for the time being. The cool thing is he actually does happen to have two vehicles that come with him. This is just a Decepticon drone. And it's got a firing missile gimmick, which is kind of cool. And these things fire very well. And here he is without the missile installed. But the cool thing is, you know, you can take this off and then flip this piece here out on the back. And then you can add him in as a tower if you want. You can also raise these up. Gives a little bit more height in the back. And then these pieces here, kind of more or less, go with pretty much anywhere you really want them to, because there's several little holes on here that they will actually fit into. And you know, it's just one of those things that I just tend to just play with and figure out, yeah, well, this won't go there, that won't go there, we'll go here. Well, the cool thing is he's got several little post holes here in the back. This is kind of like, becomes like a bit of a refinery or something back here at the very back. So that way you can actually just put them back here. Kind of just adds a little bit more to it. And it's got a nice little tower. And the cool thing is you can still take this piece here if you want, and you can plug it in here if you want, if you just want to add a gun, or if you just want to just put the radar dish back up, you can. Just some cool little options and such you can do with this, because I just absolutely love this guy. This guy's really, really cool. Now, because of the size of this guy, it's going to be a bit difficult to just, you know, do the transformation, but we're going to do the best we can. So, here we go. What you're going to do is you're going to remove the ramps. Always pull the radar dish off. And then remove the two little guns. Like I said, this stuff's optional, so you can kind of put this stuff anywhere on, which is really nice. Scramble City bots, so they will stand back there as well. If I can get Dragstrip here to stand up, he doesn't like to stand up half the time. Ever have a day where you're clumsy? Well, that's one of those days for me. Oh, there you go. Good old Dragstrip standing there. That's kind of cool. I don't mind it. And you still have this entire ramp function here. If you want to, you can, you know, park Swindle up here if you want in vehicle mode, or just whatever you really want to do. These things do move around, and you know, that's the whole point of the playset, is to actually have, you know, options and versatility and things like that, to be able to just kind of do all different kinds of stuff with it, because that's the whole point of these guys. And I absolutely love Trypticon. These colors just pop. I'm sorry, but they just do. They just explode, and I love it. So let's take a look at him in his, well, everybody likes to see it as his final form. Here's Trypticon in his gigantic Dino Robo mode, and everybody absolutely loves looking at this guy when he's just, you know, in this mode. This gigantic Mecha Godzilla looking guy is just amazing. He has always been one of the coolest Decepticons, and I have always loved this guy. If you guys notice the color scheme he has is a very, very Diaclone color scheme. This is actually modeled after the Machine Dragon, which is a really, really, really cool Diaclone toy, and honestly needs to get more love. But taking a really good closer look at him himself, this guy is extremely heavy. He is very, very, very heavy, and he's got a lot of weight to him. Mainly because, you know, he does have a battery-operated gimmick where he does walk. All I really do is click this right here, and he should start walking here, if I can get him to do it, and if not, no big deal. Okay, sadly, my batteries are dead, so I cannot get him to walk. I am sorry, guys. I would love to do that, but you know, he does walk. He does actually function that way. But let's take a good close look at him next to his adversary here, Metroplex, and he looks very good next to him. He just works. This just tends to look like, you know, some people might look at him and say, well, this looks like a version of Grimlock almost, and it kind of does, but honestly this is a lot brighter when you actually look at the color between him and the actual Grimlock. This color is actually a lot brighter color, and putting him over here next to good old Megatron, he looks really, really good next to him. Not to mention, let's put Heavy Tread up here, because you know Heavy Tread is his little buddy, and then his little Viacon tank dude, which, you know, is completely out of frame because this guy is so huge. It's just really difficult to get these guys completely into a really good frame, and he's amazing. He's very, very cool. And I know you guys all want to see this, and you know, this is kind of one of those things that everybody always wants to see, is how does he look next to Devastator? I think he looks absolutely amazing next to Devastator. It works very well, and it works. This whole color scheme is just absolutely awesome, and this is why I love Generation 2. And this is also another reason why I love City Bots, because there's so many things you can do with them. But what's interesting is all those pieces that he has can actually store on him. So let me show you how that works. And here he is with all the attachments put on him. It's cool that you can actually store the ramps in the back and then put all the guns attached to the back and just kind of lay the big gun up there and then a little radar dish. It's really nice how this all kind of compacts together, and it just works, and it keeps everything on a nice little package, so that way you can, you know, set him up and display him and it doesn't look insanely crazy. I just love the fact that he's got all this chrome, he's got all this red and this blue sticking out. He's just, and all this gold, like gold plastic, like GPS, like crazy. Love it. It's amazing. I've always loved this. Very cool. He does have a jaw here that opens and closes, which is kind of stiff on mine, but I don't really mess with him that much. But you know, opens and closes. He does happen to have a articulated thumb, which moves up and down here for his hands. So I mean, if you really wanted to, you can, you know, take a good old scamper here if you wanted and stick him in there, and he can hang on the scamper just like that if you want. It's kind of cool. This is really neat that he has these kind of little options. The gun here on the top does actually retract, so that way you don't always have to have that up. And it's kind of nice. It's just little tiny things like this. You can also use these guns here if you wanted to and stick these out and use those for like shoulder cannons if you really wanted to actually have like firepower as he's walking into battle to take things out, which is kind of cool. And all this stuff, like I said, stores on him, which is really neat, and I do like that about him. He's an absolute awesome toy and just phenomenal. I've always loved Trypticon. Every time I get this thing in hand, I'm like, this is Mega Godzilla. He can like run over and stomp all over everything. I know you guys are probably asking about the Brunt. Well, guys, billions of people's already reviewed Brunt out there. You guys can find reviews of him. You guys all know he's just a parts former. That's pretty much all he is, you know, because this guy's like gun piece here in his torso, and you know, the review for this thing. I mean, he's cool. I like him. He's a great little addition. Kind of helps add more to the entire robot aesthetic of Trypticon himself. It really just adds another element, which is kind of nice. And I don't mind that about him. It's very cool, but honestly, it's really not a necessary thing. It just looks nice when you actually have all these guys together, just chilling, because, you know, parts formers, oh my gosh, everybody complains about parts formers. Guys, parts formers are amazing. I'm sorry, they just are. I've always loved this kind of play pattern because this play pattern is very lost in time, I think. It's not something that's actually been very well accepted with some people. And to be honest, I don't understand that why. But you guys need to like fill me in. Why do people hate on parts formers? Please tell me why. Other than the fact that you can lose the pieces. Because that's just really all there is to it. I mean, he's a very cool looking robot, especially when you actually have Brunt here standing next to him. Because, you know, it's successful. It looks cool. I don't mind it. I mean, I don't need crazy articulated robots, but, you know, he does look pretty good next to him. And quite frankly, I think it kind of adds in and just gives a little more play options to Trypticon himself, because Trypticon's cool. I've loved Trypticon always, but it's nice to have him as an addition. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been another Generation 2 review, and I'll catch you guys later because I have plenty more coming your way. That's it for now. Bye.